Alright everyone, so this is the Samsung Galaxy Note Pro 12.2. So this is something that a lot of people have been talking about because it's quite big, and this is, it's one of the last tablets in the line, the latest tablets that has Android 4.4 KitKat, and it just answers a question that some people had, which is how many versions of the Galaxy series are we gonna get? And so here's one more just for you, and it could actually be quite useful, and actually I found it to be actually a useful device as well. Some people have been talking about the size and the dimensions a lot, but I'm gonna be talking about some of the convenience factors of having a device that's 12.2 inches. Some of the things that I don't know if are going to be released, hopefully they are. Maybe you guys know what accessories are going to be released, because I haven't checked this online yet, but it'd be, I wish that, it had like an external keyboard and let's say a smart cover and that sort of thing. Maybe that's coming soon. We'll check it out in the options. So let's talk about the screen size. The screen size itself is 12.2 inches. It has a resolution of 2560 by 1600. Yes, that's much higher than 1080. And the pixel per inch is 247 in terms of density. So that's not very high, and I've actually noticed, the little dots in terms of pixels. I wish that I had a higher pixel per inch density, but that means that they would need to go Ultra HD in order for them to achieve that, and so we're still a little bit away from that, and who knows, especially at a screen size like this, because the larger the screens are, the more difficult it is to have a high pixel per inch density. Now, in regards to processor, it has a 2.3 gigahertz quad-core processor, 3 gigs of RAM. It comes in 32 and 64 gigabyte flavors and also supports micro SD, Bluetooth 4.0, Wi-Fi, LTE, an infrared blaster, and of course micro USB 3 support. In terms of overall size, it depends on the orientation, but if holding it the way that it is, I'm holding it now, it's 295.6 millimeters wide by 204 millimeters tall, and it's 8 millimeters thin. As I mentioned, the system uses Android 4.4 KitKat. In terms of the camera, it's got an 8 megapixel camera and a 2 megapixel front-facing camera. Comes in black and white. In terms of battery life, it's got a 9,500 milliamp battery. Let's take a look around the device. We've got the camera and the sensors, of course, up top. We've got the touch capacitive buttons. I'll talk about this button in a second later on. And we've also got the home button. At the bottom, underneath the button, is nothing much except for a nice, flat, clean, let's say, brushed aluminium style look to it. On the left-hand side, we've got a speaker. And we've got the headphone jack. On the top, we've got the power button. We've got the volume buttons. We've got a microphone. And we've got the infrared blaster. On the right-hand side of the device, we've got the S Pen. We've got another speaker. So yes, this has dual speakers on either side if you're holding it this way. If you're holding it this way, it's kind of unusual to have a speaker on the top and the bottom. But then again, don't forget HTC One have done it with their boom sound. And so why not do this as well, top and bottom? You've got the micro USB 3 port, but of course it also takes a standard micro USB charger. Over here, we've got the micro SD card door. And over here, we've got the SIM card door. Around the back, we've got a 8 megapixel camera and flash, and you might notice a little bit of fingerprints and grease, and that's because this time, although it's got the faux leather look that Samsung have been putting on all their devices, it's got a little bit of, let's say, a rubberized feeling to it, a little bit of a rubberized layer, and so it actually feels like real leather, or as close to real leather you get. It looks really nice and grippy as well, so that's great. It's not going to be sliding around. So there are a couple of things that you might notice are different. If you look at the touch sensitive buttons, instead of it being a menu button now, this actually goes ahead and launches the multitasking window so that you can see all the different apps you have, and conveniently you've got a close all as well, so you can just close all of your applications if you wanted to. So if you're used to the Samsung Galaxy S4 or the Note 3 or the Note 3 Neo or any of their devices in the past, you'll just bear in mind that now you need to reconfigure the way that you use a phone. It could be a little bit, or use the tablet, because if you have both devices, let's say you've got a Samsung Galaxy S4 and you're used to using this as a menu rather than having it as a switcher, it might be an issue for you because you need to now learn two different habits. One of the things that you're going to notice with the new Samsung Galaxy Pro tablet is that it's got some Touchwiz Interface updates. And so if you look at the overall layout, now when you swipe down, you've got the search button on the top left over there. You've got also a flat UI. looks different just in terms of the iconography that they've used. So that's pretty cool. Some people will like that. Some people might prefer the old style. You know, some people just don't like change. Okay then, so now let me swipe just a second to the left so that I see what's going on the right side of the screen. And of course we got some widgets, and we've got the apps that are going on. Preloaded on the device that I had, and I don't know if this is on all devices, is stuff like WebEx, Remote PC, e-meeting, Handcom Viewer, and so on, and Dropbox and Business Week. And the reason why is because, you know, this can actually be a tablet that you use in the office, and I'll explain that in a second. So if we swipe to the right to open up the menu on the left, we have this little magazine, and here we can see all the news that's interesting to me. So in this case, I've subscribed to news, technology and science, arts and culture. I can actually use this to control my television, use it as a remote, so I tap on there if I wanted to. It shows me what's new and noteworthy. So that's also pretty cool. I really like that. And you can also change the layout if you want to. So if I tap and hold, I can simply expand the size of a window. I can actually go lengthwise as well if I wanted to, or I can just leave it the way that it is, and I can add more widgets too, which is pretty cool. So other options that we have are photos and design, sports, style, and business. If I swipe to the right, I can actually tie in my different social networks. And if I swipe again to the right, this other screen on the right, we've got different applications that we can also add there. So it's nice that we can customize this. If I swipe one more time, in this case, we've got a bunch of different widgets. In this case, we've got business news over here. We've got the calendar over there. Yes, I need to go to the gym. And I need to get my car washed, apparently. And you've got your email widget, and you've got your office widget. So this could be really handy, especially if you want to manage your work life and if you're walking around, you know, with a tablet. Now, again, this is quite big, and you're probably going to be using this in this form, let's say in landscape rather than in portrait, because in portrait it kind of feels unusual to me. Does look really great, and it has a really good screen, but you know, we'll talk about some of the different options that you have later on in another video, inshallah. Now let's take a look at the power. Let's see how, let's say, a game like Real Racing 3 is handled on this tablet. Let's give it a go. Now, playing this game, I do notice just a slight stutter in terms of lag and frame rate, but otherwise it's pretty smooth. It's very responsive. It's pretty fun, you know, to be playing this game. Of course, we got lots of Porsches or Porsches, depending on where you're from and how you like to pronounce it. It's a really powerful device. So there you go. This was just a quick look at a game on the device itself. Now, some people have said, you know, this device is actually quite big. Now, I think that, yes, of course it is big. There's no denying that. But it's actually quite useful, because there's been a number of situations where I've been using, let's say, my Note 3, and I felt like I wish I had a bigger screen so that I can just completely stop using an actual notebook. And so if I put this down for just a second, let me show you the notebook that I'm using right now. Let's compare in terms of size. So this is my notebook. In terms of size, it's, you know, it's a little bit smaller. So I could, rather than carrying this, simply carry my Note Pro. So let me quickly take out the S Pen. Now I'll probably hold it like this. I'll launch S Note. Let's start. I think I'm going to go for the red one because it looks more natural to me in the office. I can have a blank sheet, or I can use note paper. So I'm going to take lined paper, and then over here actually I'm going to also select in portrait mode that I want that style paper. So let's set that later. Here's my notebook, and now if I wanted to, I can do this. And of course, when I've got my palm on the screen and I'm writing, I don't need to worry about any changes, and it's not going to actually write with my palm. It's only going to detect the S Pen. So it's pretty easy, it's smooth. I don't get that much of a lag, you know, when I'm writing, and actually the devices are just getting better and better and better, and they're actually getting more effective and more efficient. So now I've written what I needed to write. Let's say I wanted to write my telephone number. I would select the cloud, select that, then I could transform that into whatever I wanted. In this case, I could transform into text. There you go, it's transformed into text. So it's pretty cool, it's convenient. I can just quickly go ahead and change between the two. I can erase whatever I want to erase, and I can just continue writing again. And there you have it. This is the Samsung Galaxy Note Pro 12.2. I hope that you enjoyed this quick look at the device. We're showing it around. Of course, you've got a little bit of a family reunion going on over here. Again, if you like the video, please don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe. If you've got any feedback, any requests, like would you like me to explain anything more in detail regarding this device or anything in the future, please, leave a comment in the comment section below, because I really appreciate it. Thank you so much to all of you people who keep on hitting that like button. I really appreciate it. It keeps me going. If you'd like to see any of the devices that are available from Vodafone, don't forget to visit www.vodafone.qa or visit a Vodafone store. Thank you very much.